The sky was painted in shades of orange and crimson as Flight 214 took off from New York bound for London. The passengers were a mix of business professionals, vacationers, and families. Everyone settled into their seats, oblivious to the events about to unfold. Captain Michael, a seasoned pilot with over 20 years of experience, was in the cockpit with his co-pilot, Sarah. The flight seemed routine until the plane reached the Atlantic Ocean. At 35,000 feet, an unusual turbulence shook the aircraft. "Did you feel that?" Sarah asked, her voice tinged with unease. Michael nodded. "Might be a weather pocket. Let's check the radar." To their surprise, the radar displayed nothing unusual. But the turbulence grew stronger, and soon the plane began to lose altitude. The passengers were jolted awake from their naps as oxygen masks dropped from the overhead compartments. In the cabin, a young boy named Oliver clutched his mother's hand. "Mom, are we going to crash?" His mother forced a reassuring smile, though her eyes betrayed her fear. "No, sweetheart. Everything will be fine." Meanwhile, in the cockpit, Michael and Sarah fought to regain control of the plane. Alarms blared, and the control panel flashed erratic readings. "Mayday, Mayday. This is Flight 214. We're experiencing a critical failure," Michael radioed to air traffic control. But then, static filled the line. Communication was lost. As the plane descended rapidly, a bright light suddenly appeared ahead of them. It wasn't the sun, nor was it a lightning strike. It was something unnatural. "What is that?" Sarah gasped. The light engulfed the plane, and for a moment, everything went silent. When the passengers opened their eyes, they weren't falling anymore. Instead, the plane was floating midair, surrounded by an unearthly glow. Outside the windows, they could see a vast, otherworldly landscape. The ocean was gone, replaced by floating islands and shimmering skies. Creatures with translucent wings flew past the plane, their beauty both mesmerizing and terrifying. "Where are we?" a man whispered, his voice breaking the eerie silence. Michael and Sarah tried to steer the plane, but the controls no longer responded. A voice, deep and resonant, echoed inside the aircraft. "You have crossed into the veil, a realm between worlds. Your fate is undecided." The passengers looked at one another, panic spreading. "Who's speaking? What do you mean by undecided?" Someone shouted. "You must prove your worth," the voice replied. "Only those who possess the will to survive and the strength to protect others will return." The plane jolted, and suddenly, a massive shadow loomed over them. A serpent-like creature with glowing red eyes appeared, its body winding through the air like a colossal storm. "This is your trial," the voice declared. Chaos erupted in the cabin as the serpent struck the plane. Michael, thinking quickly, instructed the passengers to move to the back for balance. Sarah used whatever remained of the controls to dodge the creature's attacks. Meanwhile, Oliver, the young boy, noticed something strange. The serpent hesitated every time the passengers worked together. When they panicked, it grew stronger. "Mom, I think it's testing us," Oliver exclaimed. His words spread quickly, and the passengers began to work as a team. They helped each other remain calm, secured loose items, and offered encouragement. The serpent's attacks weakened, and the glowing light around the plane grew brighter. Finally, with one last lunge, the serpent disappeared into the void. The voice returned, softer this time. "You have proven your worth. Return to your world, and remember, unity is strength." The bright light engulfed the plane again, and the next moment, Flight 214 was back in the sky over the Atlantic. The passengers were stunned. The turbulence was gone, and the controls responded normally. Michael and Sarah checked their coordinates. They had only lost 10 minutes. When they landed in London, the passengers spoke of the event, but no one believed them. Yet each of them knew it was real. And from that day forward, they carried the lesson of unity and courage in their hearts, knowing they had survived the lost flight.